Good good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching us. Welcome to Crypto Talks week 35. This week we had major news developments from the United States as we see Bitcoin is going up back to the $27,000 level. But before we start, as usual, we always warn people on the fraud that is happening in the market, especially in the crypto markets. Fraud is becoming more and more sophisticated. One of the recent stories I want to share with you was from Thailand. There is a old old woman in Thailand. She went on pension and she received a call from a famous news anchor in Thailand, and it is believed to be fabricated deep fake AI scheme where this person was defrauded with more than $500,000 of her pension. No matter who is reaching out to you and convincing you to invest in tokens, in crypto, or in any type of investment, especially if they were public figures, please double check the information, double check perhaps through the institution that those people work with, through reaching out on their social media channels and double checking if there is such a advertisement, yes or no. One advertisement, for example, I came across today was to invest in real estate in Dubai, and the person who was promoting it is a celebrity. Her name is she's known in the TV Gulf TV circles. Her name is Lujain. I'm not sure if Lujain herself is promoting this investment scheme in real estate in Dubai, or is it someone who has fabricated this video? Today, we have technological tools that are at our disposal where we can create videos, voice notes for other people, and it 90% looks like the original person. So with this, please be careful when you are interacting with celebrities on social media, especially the ones that are forcing or pushing for crypto investment narratives. With this, we can start our news for this week. The major news that we are all following until now is the crypto sudden pump that we saw yesterday. In 1 week, crypto went up, or Bitcoin specifically went up 7% from last week until today. Um, the sudden pump in price what happened yesterday evening. Today, now Bitcoin is sitting at 27,256, while it was 27,400 during the day. Ethereum followed a similar path, and it as well pumped almost 5 to 6%, sitting now at 1,707. If we look at the Bitcoin Ethereum charts, there is big similarities on how those two coins move. If Bitcoin goes up, Ethereum is going up in the same pattern, in the same pace, which is something good for traders, for people who are speculating on the prices of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other coins. And other notable news for this week, the it seemed that um, Binance and BNB coin is going under what we call a stress test. So the liquidity, the even communication to the outside world is being scrutinized by the majority crypto community. especially the ones that are not supporters of crypto, Binance, and the whole cryptocurrency economy. They're pointing out to the weak link today in this space, which is Binance, that has been facing a lot of pressure from regulators, from partners as well. We saw their Visa card and MasterCard program stop. We saw their SEPA payments being as well hindered in Europe. And there are news that by September 25, there will be no more support from Binance to SEPA withdrawals and deposits. I believe this is a temporary challenge that they will be able to solve in the future with proper compliance and proper regulatory changes that Binance needs to come up with. Other than that, there was as well the point where a few experts were trying to show or trying to um, defend that Binance and Bitcoin liquidity is going hand in hand, and if BNB coin goes under $200, then Bitcoin suffers a lot and suffers a lot of bleeding in liquidity. And those were definitely the cases that we saw the past 2 weeks, with all the negative news hitting Binance, and it affected the BNB coin. So now analysts are looking at the DeFi protocols, they're looking at Binance, and of course, we're looking at a new month in September. September in financial markets usually is known for a strong and positive US dollar dominance from 2016 till 2023. In those 6 years, the US dollar in September has always made good returns for investors, especially because October usually signals a weak sentiment in S&P 500 and other financial markets. So traders start to hedge against the month of October in September. So from 2017 till 2016, the US dollar performed best in the month of September. What does this relate to crypto? Usually, when the US dollar dominance is high, then we see Bitcoin and crypto markets, they wither and they go down. Um, Plus inflation and the interest rates that are being increased every meeting by the FOMC. So what we expect for September in Bitcoin and crypto prices perhaps is a retrace to the market, going then from October, November, December. We build up for the new year and for the year that we're all waiting for, 2024, the year of the Bitcoin halving. With this, we can start our news for this week. We picked for you a small amount of news. As we said, the majority of the events were related to Grayscale. To give a backdrop a little bit on the story, since I mean, as far as I remember, since 2014, and institutions are trying to adopt a approval by the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission in the United States, to approve a Bitcoin ETF. The answer was always a rejection. There was always a rejection on the application. But Grayscale, they took matters in their own hands, and they like went to court, and they did a case against the regulator, the SEC. So since then, this case has been closely watched by the cryptocurrency and the asset management industries. For example, like the Cathie Wood ARC is one of the as well institutions that applied for the ETF and has been rejected. But since then, they've been trying for years to convince the SEC to approve a Bitcoin spot ETF. Now, in a Bitcoin spot ETF, this allows people, retailers, allows institutions, and allows as well the large investment institutions, pension funds, and those institutions with heavy liquidity, with large amounts of money. They allow them to invest in Bitcoin without directly owning the Bitcoin. This is the idea of the Bitcoin spot ETF. So, me as Grayscale, I would allow, for example, the pension fund of school teachers to invest in Bitcoin without owning Bitcoin by itself, because owning Bitcoin by itself carries certain risks. So the spot ETF would say, okay, we are going to invest in Bitcoin on your behalf, but there is a condition that this custodian or this spot ETF provider should cover the Bitcoins one on one. So if my Bitcoin spot ETF is worth $100 million, then I should have $100 million worth of Bitcoin in my possession. So the conversion is 1 to 1. Now, the SEC so far has rejected applications not only from Grayscale but from a list of long asset management companies who want to own or want to invest in those ETFs. So while the agency has rejected the spot Bitcoin ETF, it has approved a Bitcoin futures ETF, which would track agreements to buy and sell Bitcoin at a pre-agreed price in the future. So Grayscale and Arca proposed using the same market manipulation safeguards that were approved for those future ETFs on the spot ETF. But the SEC, no, this doesn't meet its bar, and hence the case was rejected. So Grayscale, as I said in the beginning, took hand in its own matter. They went to court again, and today they won a decision that states that the SEC was not right in rejecting the spot ETF. Be here now, we should read the words carefully and we should use our common sense. The SEC did not approve a Bitcoin spot ETF, and that's very important to know. Again, that the Bitcoin ETF, the Bitcoin spot ETF for Grayscale, it was not approved by the SEC. But the court said that this decision of SEC to reject this Bitcoin spot ETF is not correct. So what will happen here? We have 45 days. Either the SEC will approve a Bitcoin spot ETF, or Bitcoin or the SEC will go again in court with Grayscale and further perhaps uh, win or lose the decision on a Bitcoin spot ETF, or simply the SEC will try to find other grounds where the Bitcoin spot ETF is rejected. So why was it rejected? It was rejected for a simple reason that Grayscale does not have the enough safeguards to prevent market manipulation in those Bitcoin ETFs. And Grayscale is saying, well, since the Bitcoin spot ETF and the Bitcoin futures ETF and Bitcoin, their grounds are all based on the price of Bitcoin. So there is a similarity on the safeguards that are used by Bitcoin futures ETF and the proposed Bitcoin spot ETF. So according to court, those safeguards perhaps should make a case for a spot ETF, and the decision to not approve it is overruled and is not valid since both products rely on the Bitcoin underlying price. So, with this, um, as we said, both parties now they have 45 days to appeal the ruling, and the case would either go to the U.S. Supreme Court or it will go to another panel review. Now, it is not clear whether the SEC will appeal or not, and they were not even available to respond to requests from comments on Reuters and other news anchors on this specific topic. But this is a big victory, and it seems that the community, the people, the traders, the sentiment was happy with such a news, and it's giving a hope for other firms that have filed for spot ETFs on Nasdaq, on the CBOE global markets, BlackRock, Fidelity, Wisdom Tree, Van Eck, Bitwise, Invesco. Those are all all these are all firms that have applied for Bitcoin spot ETFs, and it is still waiting. We go to our next coverage for this week, and this is coming from the, I think, Biden administration, our next piece, where it was a shock for many how the U.S. government is still trying to follow and is still trying to curb innovation in the cryptocurrency space, and now it's coming through the taxes. So Biden administration is proposing a new crypto tax, uh, especially when you are reporting your taxes at the end of the year. There will be a new way to report, especially those crypto taxes. And whether this will go full force or not, it's still a proposal. But as we all know, when we start to enforce taxes, the innovation and the people will move from the USA to other cities. And they did not wait for the Biden administration to enforce a tax so that they can leave the United States and set up their camps somewhere else. Today, Dubai is attracting most of those talents, especially American companies. We heard this year, and we covered it in Crypto Talks as well, how Coinbase is looking to set up an office in Abu Dhabi. Even Brian Armstrong, CEO and the founder of Coinbase, visited Abu Dhabi this year, was a speaker on one of the events, and he met government officials to trying to convince Coinbase to move its headquarters into the UAE region. Saudi as well is a promising place for crypto businesses, as the central bank is opening more and more policies to facilitate the crypto innovation, especially in the gaming world. So we're seeing a lot of investments and a lot of activities happening in Saudi Arabia in the esports and in the gaming world, which crypto has a small share of this market. The other good sentiment that, in my opinion, is more important than the Bitcoin ETF, and is more important than the SEC. This week, Elon Musk, through his new platform, X, or what we all know previously as Twitter, they're moving closer to crypto payments by acquiring a new state license. So the regulators from Rhode Island, they have approved the application for a currency transmitter license to previously Twitter, now X. And with this, the company is stepping forward into the financial sector. So why is this important? Because, as we all know, Elon Musk was one of the early co-founders of PayPal. Uh, Today, with his Twitter acquisition, or today what we know it as X, the number of users that are there, the number of data and information under X will definitely allow X to be one of the competitive super apps. So not only to communicate, but to transact as well. Transactions on which network they will happen. what crypto functionalities will be there, what upcoming payment features will be there. But the push for X to become the everything app uh, cannot happen if it doesn't include crypto payments. And that's what X has done with this announcement of their payments license. It gives the crypto industry the long term vision and the long term viability that we are all seeking. What's the future of crypto? Well, one of the future use cases of crypto is payments. And here you have a platform with hundreds of millions of users that are able to perform crypto payments. And this is what this whole industry is about: innovation and pushing boundaries, pushing things forward. With the last piece of news for this week, something that we are sad to see, and we're not happy with its consequences. Pepe, one of the it's my favorite, to be honest, meme coin next to Dogecoin. Pepe, for the ones who don't know it, is the green ugly frog that took over the internet a few weeks ago with its mem token, the Pepe coin. It and that's, I think, the beauty as well of crypto, that the transactions are public, and analysts were able to see unprecedented transactions out of a multi-signature wallet that spooked the Pepe coin watchers this week. So some developers who are working on the Pepe coin, they did unlawful transfers out of the token multisig, and I would say, putting between parentheses, they stole millions of dollars worth of Pepe coin. So these claims started on Twitter, and like as the Twitter post said, since its inception, Pepe has unfortunately been plagued by inner strife, with a portion of the team being bad actors led by big egos and greed. And there has been conflict on the majority of the team involved in the Pepe creation. So the some people wanted to distance themselves after the first week of the project that was incepted. And the result is last week over 16 trillion Pepe coins, approximately 15 million, were illicitly transferred to crypto exchanges OKX, Binance, KuCoin, and Bybit before being sold, contributing to a 20% slide in the frog themed token. I love on chain analysis because you can see how developers they handle transactions and approvals, uh, and instead of one of the wallets requiring 5 to 8 wallets to sign off transactions, now it has changed to only 2 out of 8. And this is how it resulted in having this large amount of tokens being sold, approximately $15 million. With this, I believe we come to an end of this week's news session. Keep in mind, September is next week. So next week we're gonna have the first September session. As we said, September usually is not a very promising week or promising month for crypto, due to the fact that the US dollar in September, for the past 6 years, every year in September, it has reached a all-time high in the year's profit when traders are trading on the US dollar. So let's see how this month will close in August. Tomorrow is the last day. So tomorrow we are going to either witness a new green candle at the end of the closing for the month, signaling a better and a more bullish September. But we have to read the macroeconomic picture, we have to read the technical picture, and we have to read the fundamentals. Keep in mind as well, in this month, a lot of coins have unlocked their staking programs. Flus was one of them, Avalanche Avax was one of them as well. And both, any token that, not only both of them, any token that has unlocks in its staking program or in its vesting periods or in its investment token distribution schemes, it will suffer a drawback in price. And HBAR as well was one of those coins who suffered a drawback in price after recent unlocks in their tokens. With this, Rudy and everyone else, I want to wish you a lovely end of the month. We see you in week 36 next week, 1st of September. We have as well some guests that are planned for September. There are a lot of events happening in Dubai from September to December. And for our Lebanese audience, we have a surprise for you. So stay tuned, and we'll see you next week. Thank you, everyone, and have a lovely evening.